Hey guys, welcome back. So again, this is the second lab lecture. So this goes with the other three virtual labs that are due the first week. I just wanted to walk you through a couple of things with that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I have pulled up a preview of Lab Skills Graduated Cylinder Virtual Lab 2. So one thing that it says, once you start the virtual lab, you must finish it or save it for later before you can work on anything else. Make sure that you understand that. If you need to, you can always save it for later. So you can come in and start this. And it will tell you, here are my concepts that are dealt with here. Here's my overview. Here's what's going to get scored. And here's things that you need to know before you begin. All right. Do you need to read any of this? That's entirely up to you. I think it's entirely useful, but it is up to you. Okay. We can continue to the laboratory simulation. And preview mode. Control-Alt-K to skip ahead phases. Control-Shift-K to skip ahead phases. Control-O on PC. Sorry, I'm on a PC. Where do you need to orient your eye level to take an accurate reading of the meniscus? Okay, so where exactly would you need to do that? When looking at a meniscus, we need to make sure that we're looking exactly level, parallel to the meniscus so that we can see both the front part and the back part. Okay, so that's parallel to the meniscus. Hooray! So a couple of questions. You get some practice. So we'll zoom in. And we'll say, oh, wait, that's not the way I'm supposed to look at that. Let me turn this. That's not right. That looks okay. That looks definitely wrong. So meniscus right there, that's 30 mils. And record it in the lab data. So our volume 30.0. And it is milliliters, so that should be what it's looking for. And good, awesome. For the next phase. Oh, awesome, yay. So, zoom in, while counting drops, add drops. Till we get to the 1 milliliter, it says add drop of water. So, and it counts them for you. So yay, I don't have to count. And yours may not look exactly the same way that mine does, but 18 is how much it took me to get to 1 milliliter. So record the number of drops in the lab data. 1 milliliter, that took 18 drops. And they want to know what's the average drop volume. So if I have 1 milliliter and 18 drops, if I want to look at the average for that, then, okay, fine. Can I do that? Absolutely, I can do that. This talks about how you actually read the meniscus. And of course, how to do calculations about what actually was measured. Okay, so or its placement. All right. 1.00. Turn back up to 1.00. Divide that by 18. That means that each drop is 0.056, and it should be 2 sig figs. So that's what I think it should be. Check your calculation for the average drop. Did you report your data the correct number of significant digits? And that's a counting number. Okay. So I think this is what it's looking for. So it says that we need to check it. Since the number drops 18 is a counting number, it's probably looking at how accurate was this one. That's 3 sig figs. So that would be this, which is then what it was looking for. Okay. So make sure that you're watching what it's telling you and looking at the things that it's saying to you. Okay. Because it will give you information about what it's looking for and what it's not. So again, I'm going to let you do all of the volume displacement and everything else that goes with this. We'll do it for a couple of different items. Make sure that you do the measurements, record everything in your lab data. Everything that's here should tell you what you need to know. should be everything that you need. So if you have any questions, comments, problems about it, please let me know. When we measure things that are irregularly shaped, we need to measure the volume by water displacement. And what that means is that my initial water volume, 10.8 here, water plus the object is 17.60. Volume difference is the volume of the object. So we take the water plus the object, 17.6, subtract the 10.8, it gives me 6.80. And of course, since I'm 2 decimal places here, 2 decimal places here, my answer should be 2 decimal places past the, or 2 decimal places, 2 past the decimal. So that's how you would do that. Okay, and all of them are going to be that way. But it typically will show you what it's looking for in terms of calculations. So you'll do that for all of those, and then you'll be able to go to the next phase. Okay, so that's your graduated cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. When we talk about the pipe, I do not want to click that. When we talk about the pipette and the burette, click on the volumetric pipette to pick the bulb up. Okay, awesome. Pick this up. Click on the hand to squeeze it. Click on hand with bulb and place bulb on pipette. Yep. Click on hand with pipette and place pipette in DI water. Click on hand with bulb to release bulb to draw water up and fill pipette beyond the line. Click on hand with bulb to remove bulb and apply finger pressure to stop releasing. Release finger pressure to drain. And we want that meniscus to come down to be where it's supposed to be. Oh, too much. So again, it's about making sure that you get it where it's supposed to be. Now, is this how we would do this in the laboratory? Absolutely it is. So the techniques that you're teaching you are meant to show you what you would be doing in the lab if you were physically in that lab. Part of what we're supposed to be learning in chemistry is how to handle making those measurements in the laboratory. This is supposed to simulate that, so that way you don't have to go into a physical lab to do it. Now, if you are interested and can come to campus and want to go play with some of these things, I can make that happen. Okay, so that is something that you can do if you choose, but it is absolutely not required. All right, so this is how you will learn to do the pipette and the burette. I'm going to let it do the burette for you. I'm going to go ahead and close this one. That will show you how to use those 2 pieces of equipment. And then the last one that you'll look at is how to use the balance. And the balance is something that we use all the time in the laboratory. And measuring volume are very important. So making sure that you know how to do this is important. Tare balance means to set the digital reading to 0 before placing a sample on the balance. Will be the benefit of tearing the balance with the weighboat already on top of the balance. Then I don't have to do a calculation. Okay, because it's already taken into account the weight of that weighboat. So I don't have to do a calculation to tell me how much stuff I added to it when I've already taken that into account. So there's that kind of stuff. It will walk you through exactly how to do this. That is how you would do it in the lab. And we are very concerned about not taking too much and putting it back in here. It goes into the waste if we take too much. Other things, we typically in the laboratory, you should take out part of it and put it into a weighboat and then measure from that and not directly from the container. We do that to prevent contamination of the materials. So that is an important part of what we do in the lab that they do not do here. And that is something that I think should be mentioned because it is something that should happen. We should never sample directly from the container that we were given. We should take some out and then sample from that. So I would pick this up, pour a little bit into the ladle, and then do it from there. And if I didn't get enough, we do more. All right. But I would never put this scopula directly into this container. That causes contamination and it messes it up for everybody behind you. So that is not something we want to do. Okay. So I think that's everything for those first couple of labs. There'll be more that I talk about when we do other virtual labs, but these are pretty straightforward in terms of what they're looking for and what you need to do. Okay. I think that's everything you need to know about those first couple virtual labs, and that should take you through the end of this week. I will make sure that the lectures for future labs are up this weekend so that you have them all, can watch them as you feel it necessary. There will occasionally be stuff that we talk about in the lecture that is related to those laboratories that you're going to be doing. So there may be stuff outside of the lab lecture that will pertain to it as well. And I will try and make sure I get it covered in both places, but that doesn't always happen. So I apologize if that occurs. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.